Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I've been seeing all your comments on TikTok asking me for reviews analysis for this one. So today, it's finally happening. But before we get into that, don't forget to check this exclusive discount for it. You can find the link in both the video description and the top comment below. Now let's not delay any further and jump right into the details.
Let's start with our first reviewer's experience.
This reviewer was initially drawn to this electric bike because it seemed well made and offered impressive speed for its price point. In fact, our reviewer enjoyed riding it so much that they even considered ditching a car altogether. The initial experience with a regular pedal assist bicycle from a big box store paled in comparison, especially considering the price difference wasn't substantial. However, the journey wasn't without its bumps. Early on, the reviewer contacted the seller about a battery concern. While a simple battery replacement wasn't possible, they offered to replace the entire bike. This client agreed, thinking it was a fair solution. Unfortunately, things got complicated when, during the period to return the original bike, both it and the replacement were stolen. While one was recovered, it was in terrible shape. This situation could have been a financial disaster, but thanks to the exceptional support from both the online retailer and the company that produces the bike, a positive outcome was achieved. After contacting both companies, the online retailer refunded the cost of the stolen original bike, and the manufacturer went above and beyond. They have been providing replacement parts, even entire components, to help get the recovered bike back in working order. This client was deeply grateful, noting that the company has shown remarkable empathy and a genuine desire to help, providing parts without additional charges. As for the bike itself, the reviewer describes it as an exhilarating ride. Beach cruising is a blast, with unexpected long-distance adventures happening without realizing it. The battery life is decent, providing a solid range even with minimal pedaling. Overall, if you're seeking a well-made, affordable electric bike and want to feel confident that the company stands behind its product, this one is worth considering. The support received far exceeded expectations, leading this reviewer to confidently recommend this bike and the company behind it.
Wonderful. Now, let's explore the feedback from our next reviewer.
This reviewer purchased this electric bike a while back and has put around 500 miles on it so far, mostly on easy to intermediate mountain bike trails and dirt roads, with a little bit of pavement riding thrown in. Our reviewer, who is 510 and weighs 185 pounds, finds that the bike fits them well. They typically use the lowest speed setting on trails, going between 5 and 15 mph, and will bump it up to the second or third setting on paved roads to hit around 20 mph. They haven't needed the highest two settings. One thing the client noticed early on was that the rear shock bottoms out quite easily, even on moderate bumps, so they swapped it out for a more affordable spring shock. The front shock also wasn't great, with small rocks and gravel, causing excessive vibration, leading to another upgrade to a better quality shock. They also added a chain guard to prevent the chain from dropping on bigger bumps. Stopping the scooter on steep slopes can be a challenge, partly because of the bike's weight and the smaller brake discs. This client eventually took a spill because they couldn't slow down enough on a steep incline and has since upgraded the rear disc, which was a good upgrade. The battery charges in about 5 to 6 hours, and power starts to decline noticeably when the battery drops below 50%. They get around 45 miles per charge, with about 30% battery remaining at that point. The monitor screen is hard to read in daylight, but it's bright enough in the shade, displaying useful info like trip distance, battery voltage, and speed. The client finds the bike very useful when climbing hills, mentioning that the bike still works great after replacing the front shock. However, while upgrading the rear shock, they discovered that the travel of any aftermarket shock is limited by a design flaw. After using it for over a year now, this client has put 1,700 miles on it and it still runs great, especially after upgrading the rear brake disc to a 180mm disc. They also noted that
Excellent. Let's find out what our next reviewer has to share about their experience.
This reviewer was on the hunt for an electric bike strong enough to handle a heavier rider. They were initially looking at some other well-known brands, but something about this electric bicycle with its powerful dual motors caught their eye on Amazon. When a sale popped up, they decided to take a chance and bought not one but two, one for themselves and one for their girlfriend. Admittedly, our reviewer was a bit skeptical at first, given its budget-friendly origins. However, their initial impressions were surprisingly positive. The frame seemed sturdy and well-made with clean welds, assembly was straightforward, and the power it packed was far beyond their expectations. This client even tackled some pretty serious dirt trails with long, steep inclines. While the stock suspension did its job, it wasn't the highest quality, likely to keep the price down. To address this, they upgraded the rear shock and front forks, making a huge improvement in the overall riding experience. There's a slight delay when engaging the front motor, and a gentle start when accelerating, which actually makes it easier to control rather than being thrown back. After racking up almost 500 miles on each bike with no problems, this reviewer is still impressed. They make sure to check all the nuts and bolts regularly, but that's something they do with all their vehicles. Battery life is decent, especially when primarily using the rear motor, achieving a range of 30-35 miles with minimal pedaling.
And that's it. If this video helped, hit like and subscribe for more. Let me know what you think down below. Thanks for watching.